September 6th begins Suicide Prevention Week. And if you're interested in preventing your own suicide, I'm going to let you in on a little trick that I found in the Bible. It's the Apostle Paul who actually considered out loud if he would rather be dead or alive. And one of the hardest things about preventing suicide is that it's so secret. Nobody knows the struggle that you particularly are in. But here's Paul, ironically, a leader of the Christian faith, who wondered that sort of stuff right out loud in the Bible. And many people don't realize that the struggle that they have inside of themselves is oftentimes very normal. And that even people like Paul had the exact same struggle. Now, to Paul, it all boiled down to how you define to live. Paul says that to live is Christ. I tend to say to live is happiness. I don't say that, but that's how I exist. And I don't even say that to live is to pursue happiness or the pursuit of happiness, because I frankly sometimes don't even want to pursue it. I just want to be it. Paul also doesn't say that to live is to pursue Christ. He says that to live is Christ. If you can tell, you can see here that if to live, as I'm suggesting, is happiness, then when happiness doesn't come, or when failure or loss or suffering arrives at your doorstep, and they will come, we got a problem. Because then we could be stuck asking, what's the point? If to live is happiness, and I'm not happy, what's the point? So Paul finds himself no longer obsessed with this need to be happy, because to him, to live is not happiness. Oddly, ironically, Jesus actually never looked particularly happy either. So for Paul, there was no disappointment when success never showed up, or enjoyment or happiness never arrived. When we define to live, like Paul did, that to live is Christ, we define to live as being love. To live is love. It's patience. It's compassion. It's empathy. It's mercy. It's sacrifice for others. That's what it means to live, when to live is Christ. Then we can see that we are, when we are keep doing this thing called to live, we are adding love to this world that's at war. We're adding patience and compassion and empathy to a world where it seems like the only thing that matters is victory and winning, greatness, success. When we understand that this is what it means to live, we see that we're adding mercy to a merciless world. And we're adding sacrifice for others to a world that seems often entirely self-centered. Doesn't mean that if we see to live is Christ, that we're going to be treated well, or even treated fairly for that matter. In fact, you very well may not be treated well or fairly. It doesn't mean we'll be thanked for all this good stuff we do. It doesn't mean that things are going to go our way. And it doesn't even mean that we're going to be happy. It does mean, as Paul says, that our choice to live matters. It especially matters to a world that's desperately in need of us to live, when to live is Christ. your own death, like with Paul, it may actually seem better by far, as Paul says. But know this: you choosing to live matters to the rest of us, as Paul acknowledged. We need you to live, because to live is Christ. And frankly, there's nothing that the world needs more now than for you to live.